What's going on? What's going on? Space. Honestly, I just be doing videos sometimes just to talk, you know what I mean? Express shit that just may be ruminating or flowing through my mind or whatever, right? So, on today's edition of me just talking stuff, I want to talk about the quote-unquote sector, rules of engagement, and people and their place. You know what I'm saying? People in their place within themselves, within their environment, within their community, if you will. You feel me? And this stems from something that LD, that you said in your video, when I was referring to somebody that, you know, got disrespectful to somebody that's very dear to me. And, you know, my reaction to it, you know what I'm saying? You said something like, yeah, well, you know where you at, you know the place you in. And it really makes me think, you know? I'm gonna take you back circa, I don't know, 2004, 2005. I just touched back down around New York, after just being a wild boy and, you know, doing my thing. And this is very important to the story, meaning, I don't know, I guess you want to call it being in the streets, not in a conventional way like a hard rock in the streets really, but networking, being outside, not on the computers, none of that stuff, you know what I mean? Remember, the internet and all that stuff was just starting to pop around these times, pre-YouTube, right? So I had just came back to New York and I was chilling for a minute, meaning, you know, I wasn't really active like that, right? So, but I was more into the New York underground hip-hop circuit, right? So before YouTube and shit, there were message boards. Before Facebook as well, there were message boards. I know, LD, you probably know about this, Web 2.0, Web 1.0. You probably know a lot better than me about what I'm talking about, right? But prior, I think the 2.0 days, you know, message boards were the social forum, you know, that people politic that, right? So, you know, I was pretty prominent. You could say I had my own sector, if you will, or I was part of a sector, prominent figure in said sector, between like 2004 and maybe 2009, 2010, right? Something like that. So, pardon, what's that? Oh, I'm good, mama. Appreciate you. I don't know, I think she asked me if I want my hair done. I don't even know what she's saying. Some older African lady. But anyway, I don't want Madison, make this redite. So, yeah, so, you know, I was prominent in that thing, but this is the standout thing. This is the whole reason why I bring that up. I started witnessing the transition, you know, now listen to this. I started witnessing the transition of considering a place to be somewhere that you're not physically at. That was actually the start of it. So, for example, somebody would be like, oh, I go to this message board. Oh, I don't go there. I like to go to this message board. Or I like this place better. You know what I mean? So it was weird to me because, you know, I'm just coming off of, you know, or should I say I'm just coming into computery, internet boards, message boards and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was day to day active, engaging on the streets. Like, with no internet stuff. I mean, I used to mess with Boxden. We used to search up certain music and everything so we could put it out on the streets and all that other type of stuff. You know, big bootlegger I was and all that. So I would hit the computer for that. But actually, as a social atmosphere, it was none of that. I wasn't into that. So it's like, as I started engaging and learning about that, I found it weird how people considered etherical places, apropos, because you use an Ethernet cord to hook up to these things, right? That people would use etherical places. See, even it's so ingrained in me now that I call it places. People use etherical locations and consider them a place. So if you go to this other message board, you now traveled, and that was the language. You now traveled from whatever place, whatever message board you were once at, and traveled to another one. You know what I mean? So, but the main point that I'm saying is I don't think I've ever adjusted to considering different internet locations as places. Like, pun intended, I'm grounded in the street thing. You know what I mean? So like when you have different locations on YouTube or different communities of YouTube, it's never really fully resonated with me that I'm in another place. You know what I mean? Where, cause it's the comment you said is like, do you know the place you're at? Do you know where you're at? You know? And to me, it's like, yeah. At the time, when I first heard that, I was like, yeah, I'm here in Queens, New York. You know what I'm saying? And where am I usually? Out in New York, half the time down south or whatever, half the time here. Right now, I'm in East Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the place I'm at. You know what I mean? And y'all just watching this, the place you are at is in your own crib or wherever you peeping this joint from. You know what I mean? So, like, I never fully got to that. And to me, I think that's what keeps me grounded. Not to say that anyone that doesn't feel that way is lost, but it keeps me grounded in my own personal values, my own personal customs, culture, or if you will, and such. You know what I mean? Now, when you publish YouTube videos, sure, I'm sharing these experiences, you know, with people that watch it, sure. But whoever's watching this, we're still in whatever place that your physical body is in. You know what I mean? But now it's so commonplace, pun intended, it's so commonplace that people consider etherical internet locations as different places. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was speaking about something that I didn't like because someone had some bad, threatening words to say to someone that's very dear to me. You know what I mean? And you said like, yo, do you know what place you're in? You know, like that goes around here. And then I remember you said something interesting, and you've asked this quite a few times. You said like, what are the rules? What are the rules in this place? You know what I mean? And someone gave a half of a right answer, I think. You said the old nigga, Mr. Longhair don't care. He said that there are no rules, right? Now I think that's halfway true. There are no rules. You know why there's no rules? Because there is no one rule that defines this etherical place, the sector, or whatever you will. But the rules of engagement are still within the individuals that engage. So there are no one singular rules, but there are rules of the people in general. You know what I mean? And we can't get lost. We cannot compromise and lose our personal ethics, our personal rules, our personal selves. We cannot lose ourselves because we happen to be in another place. Because that's when we're lost. You know what I'm saying? So for you, whatever rules of engagement that you have, whatever your ethics are, whatever you do allow, whatever you do not tolerate, stick to that. Stick to that. Fuck, oh, what's the rules? No, the rules are whatever your rules are. You know what I mean? Whatever my rules of engagement are, whatever my rules of engagement are. Because even before me being in East Harlem right now, even before being in this place, I'm in another place. I'm in a place within my own shoes, within my own shell. You know what I'm saying? So there's even a deeper aspect to location, if you will. We're in the place of ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and whatever is in our spirit and however we get down. We're in that place first, primarily. Then after that, physical location. You know what I'm saying? And then somewhere down